Alright, Shalom. First of all, I want to start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Agwath, and Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Now, this lesson is going to be based on this article in regards to Japan bracing for a double storm. Torrential rains shut down parts of Taiwan. So through the Spirit, I'm going to read this article, get some precepts, and Lord's will, you're edified. It says Japan grappled with transport disruptions on Friday while bracing for more torrential rain and risks from two approaching tropical storms that spurred authorities to issue high-level landslide warnings and order the evacuation of 1 million people. It says more than 200 flights were canceled and dozens of train services suspended, while many expressways were closed, the land ministry said. While car maker Toyota briefly halted operations at a factory in the southern region of Kyushu. Fuck yeah. Hate when it does that. As weather officials said a lingering seasonal rain front combined with warm, moist air from tropical storms Mekhala and Higos brought downpours to wide swaths of Japan's west, threatening landslides, floods, and swollen rivers. About 1 million people faced evacuation orders after some were lifted in Okinawa and other southern areas, emergency management authorities said. Mekhala, downgraded from a typhoon to a tropical storm, was passing over the southern Ryukyu Islands on Friday after skirting Taiwan, where severe rains shut down parts of the island to keep about 6 million people from work or school. Said last night the rain wasn't too bad, but this morning the rain didn't stop, said Chai, a desert shop owner in northern Taiwan's Zubi City. The road outside was flooded up to the knees, and inside our shop it was a little below knee level. By Saturday, Mekhala was expected to accelerate and approach western and eastern Japan around the same time that Higos was forecast to draw close to the country's east and possibly make landfall, the Japan Meteorological Agency said. The combined impact of the storms and the rain front could boost rainfall across much of the country, it added. Toyota said work would resume from Friday's second shift as its Kyushu factory shut from Thursday afternoon. Taiwan ordered offices and schools closed on Friday in its three hardest hit southern regions, where severe flooding shut down a section of the island's main north-south railway link. In the northern city, home to the world's largest contract chip maker, offices and schools were closed from noon. In a statement, TSMC said its factories were operating normally, and it has taken measures across its Taiwan facilities to prepare for the rain. About 6 million people live in the 4 affected areas of Taiwan. In parts of largely rural Pingtung, almost a meter of rain has fallen since Thursday. No casualties were reported in Taiwan, but authorities in Hualien County were evacuating nearly 200 residents from two townships downstream of a rapidly filling barrier lake in the mountains. So barrier lakes result when rocks, landslides, or other natural blockages form a dam across a river, normally in a valley, holding back flows or even natural drainage. Last year, 19 people died elsewhere in Hualien when another barrier lake breached its banks during Super Typhoon Ragasa, unleashing a wall of water and mud into homes. Rain is not all bad news for southern Taiwan, which relies on the traditional summer and autumn typhoon season to fill its reservoirs after winters that are typically dry. Yeah, so, in some cases, storms, and typically the rainwater that comes from storms can be good. But if there's too much rain, then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes dangerous and possibly even deadly. Isaiah 29:6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake, and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. And that's clearly what the Lord is visiting a good portion of the world with: earthquakes, storms, tempest, and fire. And in regards to the storms, the Lord is visiting with, tropical storms, in some places, tornadoes, hurricanes, typhoons, hailstorms. The Lord, He's not playing around. And the scriptures foretell of the Lord visiting with storms and tempests. So when these storms and tempests hit, no one should be surprised. At least nobody that's been blessed with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. Isaiah 28:2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which has a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the hand. Yeah, so basically, like I was saying, if the rain comes down too hard and too fast for too long, flooding is what's going to end up happening, especially in areas that have poor to no drainage. If there's nowhere for the water to go, then it's just going to flood the streets, get into people's homes, flood people's businesses, just cause a lot of chaos. And then if the storms are powerful enough, it could cause rock slides, mudslides, landslides. And that could result in a lot of damage, and even people could die. But through the Spirit, I've been saying that these storms and tempests were going to get more intense. And we're basically witnessing that. The Lord is sending these back to back powerful storms that are intense enough for people to have to evacuate. It's not like people can just hunker down in their homes. Like, no, they have to leave because it's that serious. Psalms 9:16. The Lord Yahweh is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Higgaion Selah. Yeah, and these storms and tempests are the judgments of the Lord. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of these in these last days. Psalm 79:6. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. And clearly that's what the Lord is doing. He's pouring out his wrath with these storms and tempests, with the rain, with the lightning, with the hail, with the tropical storms, the typhoons, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the rock slides, the landslides, the mudslides, the power outages. This is the wrath of the Lord right here being manifest, just as the scriptures say. Psalms 83:14. As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. Verse 15. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. And clearly that's what's happening. The Lord is pouring out these severe storms and tempests, which are making people afraid, forcing people to have to evacuate and flee from their homes, causing schools and businesses and even like train stations and things like that to shut down. See, the Lord knows how to cause disruptions. And it doesn't matter what type of programs or systems, that's what I meant, systems that man has in place to try to deal with these things. At the end of the day, whatever man builds, the Lord can break. And people are going to find that out. People are going to find that out, that the Lord is the Almighty. He has unlimited power. He can make these fires, storms, tempests, earthquakes as powerful and as destructive and as deadly as he wants them to be. And there is no stopping it. And for those whom the Lord wants to be affected by it, there is no escaping it. But like it says in 2 Timothy 3:1, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. And we are very much in the last days. And anybody who have been blessed with eyes to see, they can see what's happening. They can see it clearly. But these simple-minded people, they're just going to continue to play around and participate in a bunch of folly and wickedness until the Lord destroys them. But yeah, we can expect to see a lot more of the Lord's storms and tempests being unleashed upon these different countries and these different cities. Because this is his judgment. This is one of the ways in which the Lord brings judgment, is through his storms and tempests. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. Closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash, the water Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Honors toward our brothers who are fervently preaching the word in sincerity and in faith. Shalom to the sincere Akwath. Shalom to the scattered Israelites who are amongst these heathen nations and look like these heathens. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and Adawan, Ratazah. Till next time, Shalom.